Hello, my name is Dion Haddad and I'm the owner of Pro-Lite Australia, and tonight I'm going to teach you how to service a Pro-Lite Bracciano free hub. The same method applies to a lot of wheels, not only Pro-Lite, and you can use the same techniques for other models in the Pro-Lite range, but tonight I'm going to focus specifically on a Bracciano. So here we've got a brand new Pro-Lite Bracciano. It's had a cassette fitted, and I'm going to give you some idea as to the free hub noise that comes standard on the wheels from the factory with the factory amount of grease. If you come in close with the camera, come in close so we can hear that. As you can see, it's pretty quiet as it comes from the factory. But we're going to actually use a different type of grease and a little bit more, and we're going to get it even quieter again. So first thing we have to do is take the cassette off. So the skewer has to come off for that. And I'll just actually run through the tools that we've got for this job as well. So we've got two sets of Allen keys. We've got a lock ring tool. It's a 1/2 inch type, socket type. We've got a chain whip. We've got an adjustable wrench, and we've got a torque wrench. We've got some wipes, so you can use some rags, and I've got some Rock and Roll Red Devil grease, which is my favourite grease for this application. So to take the cassette off, put your lock ring tool in there, put your chain whip on. Hold that, and with your adjustable wrench, undo it. Once you've got it a little bit loose, you can take it off by hand. Now I try and keep the cassette in one piece when I take it off. It just means you can slide it back on if you're lucky without having to realign anything. Okay, so on the hub now, we need two 5mm Allen keys, and these little aluminium pieces here and here, that's what we refer to as the hub cones. So if you hear someone talking about cones, that's what they're speaking about. So we need two 5mm Allen keys. So you'll need two sets of Allen keys to do this. And they just go into each side of the axle. Get them in there, make sure they're in properly, and undo it. Take that all the way off. Now in this situation, the drive side cone has come off for me and the non-drive side one's still locked on. If the non-drive side cone comes off first, then you use, I think it's a 7mm Allen key straight into the axle. So that will come off, put the bigger Allen key into the axle so you can hold it, and then you can pull this off. I don't have to do that though, because I've been lucky and this one's come off by itself, which is what I want. So take that cone off. Now the other important thing on the dry side cone is this little groove here. Now that's where the seal is going to sit in that groove. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of grease in that groove for the seal to run on. Like that, and the seal here, we're actually going to pop it out. So to do that, just get a really small Allen key, stick it in and lever it out. The seal comes out, and then we're going to sit the drive side cone, and it's going to sit into that groove. So that's where the seal lives. Now the reason I always leave them out and sit it in there like that, if you just leave it in there and do the cone up, the cone can pinch on it, the seal won't go into its little groove, so I always take it off and sit it in there like that, and that way it's ready to go. The free hub now is just going to pull straight off. The only thing that was holding it on was that cone. So that's now off. And if you have a look in there, you can see from the factory there's actually quite a lot of grease in this one. It can vary a little bit depending on who's put the hub together, and basically the more grease you put in there, the quieter it's going to be to a degree. I mean, you don't want to cake it in there and have the balls being sticky. So all we do, if this was a used wheel, you'd get a rag now, you'd wipe this down, wipe all the dirt out of it, you'd get into the hub here, you'd clean all that out, make sure it's all clean. In this scenario I don't have to do that because it's already a clean wheel, so I'm just going to add some of the Rock and Roll Red Devil grease. Apply it fairly liberally, and you can see in here there's a little roller bearing, a little needle roller bearing. It's important to get plenty of grease into that. Get your little finger in there and massage it around. You don't want that bearing to dry out. So the amount of grease I've got there is about what you're looking for. So that's now done. I'm just going to put a little bit more down inside the hub. Same thing, get your little finger in there. You're going to get a little bit dirty doing this. And that's done. And I'm going to make sure that the axle's got plenty of grease on it. That is now ready to go back together. So that's as simple as it is. So I'm just going to clean my hands up. And I'm going to take it free up, flip back into place, and get our drive side cone. And screw that on. 5mm Allen key. Do it up and just push the seal in a little bit as you go. And you do this up firm. If you want to put a torque wrench on it, probably about 8 Newton meters. But you want that done up pretty snug. And just with a little Allen key, just work the outer edge of the seal. So don't go to the inside because you don't want to push the inside out of its little groove that it's living in. So you just want to work that around the outside. Just keep pushing it down until it's not moving. You just want to take care that the seal is still in its groove here, and this one's actually popped off. I can see that it's not sitting in its groove properly. That's going to create a little bit of drag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop it off again. Okay, this time the non-drive side one's decided to come off. Next side's Allen key up. That's into the axle. Put that off. I'll pop the seal out again. Slip it back in there. She doesn't want to play tonight. try again. Tight. And just work around the outside edge of that seal. Okay, this time it stayed in spot. You can see in there the seal's still in its groove. Now if I give this wheel a spin, you'll hear the difference between how it was standard and how it is now using the rock and roll grease. So you can barely hear that. And that's now ready for the cassette to go back on. So put your 1mm spacer on first. And warm it up. Taking care to make sure you keep everything in the right order. All these cassette pieces have got numbers on them to show how many teeth are on them, and the numbers should be facing upwards towards you. So that's an easy way to check that you've put them on the right way. Now, once we do that, we grease the thread on your lock ring. Very important. Okay, that's well greased. Stick that up, finger tight. Now, a step that a lot of people don't do is that they neglect to tighten this with a torque wrench. This is specified by Shimano that it's a 40 Newton meter torque setting. So I've got my torque wrench set at 40 Newton meters. Now the reason we do these up to 40 Newton meters is it binds all those cassette pieces together. So what that means is the little pieces of the cassette can't chew into the free hub. So that's a really important step. Anyone who's had a aluminium free hub chew up, I'd almost guarantee you they didn't tighten the lock ring up properly. So if you get this done by a shop, you get the cassette installed at a shop, make sure you tell them that you want the torque wrench, you want the lock ring done up with the torque wrench. Just specify that and the mechanic will do it for you. That's it, we're done. Free up service. And that is now quiet as you like. So in the future we'll do another video and we'll teach you how to change the hub bearings in one of these hubs. But for the time being, everyone should know how to service their free hub now. So thanks for watching.
3.